Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phay, and welcome to the channel. Today I met a girl, and she thought she recognized me from our vegetarian club. I'm sure I've never met her before. Today, we're taking a look at Rallyman GT from Holy Grail Games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this one right here, it's time for 1 to 6 players to start getting their rally race on. Because in this one, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to set up a track. There's so many different to choose from, and you can build your own. But what you're going to do is you're just going to get your car on the track. You're going to be running through it. It's a rally race. First person across the finish line or a set number of laps is going to be the winner of this one. But I'll tell you what, how's it set up? How's it play? What are my final thoughts? Let's get to those right now. Let's start with setup. So to set up the game, you're going to have to do one of a couple things. There's a bunch of predetermined tracks that are on the back of this book. You can either set one of those up, or there's a whole bunch of different tiles. Build your own. Do whatever you would like to do. Perfectly fine. That's the beauty about this game is you can build any racetrack you want. Once you have your racetrack set up, then you're going to take all the focus tokens, put those off into a pile, put all the damage tokens into a pile or in the bag. Okay. Figure out what color everyone's going to be. Okay. Give them their color. Okay. Also of their car. Give them the dashboard for that color as well. And then they're also going to take their, I think it's their gear markers, okay, of that color as well. Okay, put them in front of you. Now what you're going to do is just basically take a gear marker of every player, kind of randomly figure out who's going to be number first, second, third, and so on. Put your cars down there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the round token. It's going to be the round disc. It's going to have a black and white side. You're going to put it on the board, whichever side, doesn't really matter. But whatever color that's up, that's what the color of the zero gear token you're going to put by your car, okay, at the start. All right, now we're ready to race. So how do we play the game? So what you're going to do is whoever is the fastest, that's the order of priority in this game, is whoever is the fastest. So you're always looking at speed, then you're looking at distance, then you're looking at position, okay? So whoever's the fastest is going to go first. They may not be the person that's out in the lead. But if that's the case, then what they're going to do is they're going to take all of the dice. Now, if you look at your dashboard is going to tell you what dice you can get. Now we'll look at the GT6 dashboard. The GT6 dashboard says you're going to take all 6 of the black dice. You're going to take 2 of the white dice, and you're going to take 3 of the red dice. The red dice are for braking, and the white dice are for coasting. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to lay those dice out and form a path. Now, one of the things is you can never use a dice number more than once because you only have a 1 through 6 on your black dice. Okay. So you have to try to figure out how you're going to be able to do different things based on the dice that you have. So for example, if you're starting at 0, you want to move forward 1, you're just going to put, say, the black dice in front of you that has the number 1 on it. Then you can put the number 2, then you can put the number 3, or you can put the coast dice. Okay. But you're going to line them out exactly how you want to run through your track. If you want to break, okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to use the break dice. Now you can break 1 just easy. You go from a 4 to a 3, great. But if you want to go from a 4 to a 2, okay, well then what you do is you use a red dice along with your number 2 dice. Okay, so you can actually go in this space here from a 4, drop to this space here down to a 2 by using a break dice, and theoretically you can go up to this next space with a 3 and then add a couple coast dice. All right, that would be a strategy you may want to use in a corner, or for example. Okay, but that's how you're going to do it. Once you got all your dice laid out and you have your path already laid out, then what you're going to do is figure out what are you going to do. Are you going to just go for it all? And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what it is. You're going to go all out, okay? Are you just, or flat out? You're going to go flat out. Going flat out means you just say, you know what? I'm just going to pick up all the dice. I'm going to shake them up and I'm going to roll them, okay? Now, if you look at your dashboard in the upper right-hand corner, it's going to have a number with a little triangle on it. And that's going to say how many triangles that if you get that many triangles on your dice, you're going to wipe out, all right? If you go flat out, all right, you're just predetermining what's going to happen, all right? You have no control, all right? But you're going to get focus tokens. I'll cover those here in a second. So you roll the dice, and you're looking at all the different numbers and whatnot. If you are going to wipe out, then what you do is you just relay your dice back out, and you can lay them out in a different order if you choose, but you have to use all three of the exclamations, but you use it to your advantage. All right. It's covered in the rules a lot better than I can easily explain it. But that's basically how it's going to go. Now, by going flat out, one of the things you're going to do is you're going to gain focus tokens. Every black dice you roll and every red dice you roll is going to get you a focus token, or every black dice and everything, it's every white dice. You're going to get a focus token for it, okay, not the reds. And you put those focus tokens on your side. I'm going to cover those here in just a second, all right? And then you figure out what you're going to do. Now, if you did wipe out, okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to actually look at your dashboard, okay? Your dashboard is going to have, to the right, you're going to see speeds with a 0, 0, 0, zeros or 0 zeros, and then you're going to see the yellow, the orange, and then the red icons. Look at the tile that you're on when you're wiped out, and that's going to tell you which one of those that you go down. You cross them over. If you see a black dot, a 1, 2, or 3 black dot, then that's how many tokens you're going to have to pull from the bag of bad things that happen. That's your damage tokens. Okay. Also, based on your speed, you're either going to put a 0 gear down or you're going to put a double 0 gear down. If you put a double 0 gear down, then you're going to move your car off the track. Okay, put the double 0 there, and I usually put them backwards as well. And all that means is next turn, you're going to put your car back on the track and then put a 0 token. Okay, you totally lose your turn. Next turn, you can keep going. If you wipe out and it's a double 0, chances are if you're getting back in the race, it's pretty slim, but I have seen it done. Trust me, I have seen it done. Okay, but that's basically how that works. Now, the other thing you can do, and this is why you want those focus tokens, is when you go to roll the dice, you can roll them one at a time. Now, the 1s and 2s are only going to have like, and I think the coast dice only have like 1 exclamation on it. The 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, and the red dice, I believe I'll have 2. I could get that 3 wrong though. Okay, but the faster you're going, the chances of you wiping out are greater. All right. So what you do is you pick up the number 1 dice or whatever the first dice is, and you roll it. Is an exclamation? No. You move your car there. Actually, you're going to move the car there anyways. Take up the next dice, move your car there, roll it. Exclamation. Okay, if it is, I always put the dice back down. Okay, and then I go to move the next one. Now, this is what's fun, is if you say have 2 exclamations, and if the third one you're going to wipe out, you can push your luck. Do I want to roll that dice? Okay, if I get a third exclamation, I'm going to wipe out. If I don't, I'm going to keep moving. But if you have focus tokens, you can spend focus tokens. For every focus, you can spend 1 focus token for the first dice you roll. You just don't even have to roll it. You go to the next dice. Now, for that one, you'd have to spend 2 focus tokens. The next dice would be 3 focus tokens. If there was a stack of dice because you were breaking, that would say 3 dice. Okay, that'd be 1 focus tokens plus 2 plus 3. That's 6 focus tokens for that stack that you would have to roll. And that's if it was the first. If it was the second or third stack you got to, you just might not even want to go into that corner. Okay, or even hit that break. But that's what you're using those. So you want to go flat out, especially when you're going at lower speed, so you can get those focus tokens. So those focus tokens are going to prevent you from rolling dice when you go, when you're rolling individually and you're going those higher gears. Okay, but for the most part, that's it. Once you're done moving, then you're going to take your gear token for wherever your ending space was. You're going to put that gear number, but you're going to put it on the opposite. So if you were on white, now you're going to put black. So now you go and you look at the rest of the white ones and you see who's next. Based on speed, distance, and position, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to take their turn and so on and so on and so on. Okay, and you're going to keep doing this until you go all the way around the track. Once you go around the track, if you're, say, doing just a 1-lap race, whoever crosses the finish line first wins Rallyman GT. All right, folks, there you go. That was a super high level how to play this game, okay, because there's actually a lot going on in this game. There's several cars you can get. There's, the GT6s. There's expansions for GT4s, GT5s, and modifies and everything else. You have different tires. You have asphalt tires. You have rain tires. You have slicks. There's so much going on, okay? But I just kind of wanted to cover the basics in this one right now. All right, now, one of the cool things that I like about this game, all right, and I will tell you right now, I like this game. This is one of my top racing games. Is, for me, this is a phenomenal solo game, and that's where I like this one the best. And the reason I like this one solo more than multiplayer is this one here can have a lot of downtime. I've played this game with people that just take forever to take their turn. I want to get a timer out, but I just can't get them to play it that way, okay? Because they're like, how am I going to put my dice? How am I going to try to maximize going to this corner when technically I want them to be doing that on somebody else's turn? This is racing, okay? Racing is split-second decisions. You should be making your decisions on the fly, when it's not your turn, all right? That's the whole point of racing. That's why I like playing these types of games, okay? But for me, this is a great solo game. I love setting up different tracks. I love seeing, what my score is, because for the solo game of this, they have a score sheet that you're going to put down, and based on the focus tokens you get and different things that you do, you're going to have a total score, and that's what you're going for. Is you're just going for that score. And a lot of rally racing, that's what it is. I mean, you got all these cars and they're going out there and they're not side by side. They're not neck and neck. Okay. They're rally racing. There are ones out there. Then another one comes up. Then another one comes up. Okay. And that's what I like. And that's what this game, I think, just does in spades. It just does it super, super well. Now, one of the cool things about the tiles in this game is that I didn't cover this in the rules and how to play, is because there's so much to it. The tiles are going to have a lot of little things. You might see some of the tiles are going to have like little dotted lines with a number by it, basically meaning you have to go through that section in that particular gear. Now, one of the cool things is you can go through, do diagonals and everything else, and so you can ignore it. If you see a number inside of a white circle, that's the gear you have to be in when you hit that corner. So say if it's a 3 and you're at a 2 or a 4 going into it, you put your 3 and then you continue going through. Sometimes you might have to brake to go into it. Sometimes you may coast to go into it. Doesn't really matter. But you want to try to use your diagonals the best you can. All right. The other thing that's kind of fun to do too is you can actually do some blocking, because if there's 2 lines going and you have 2 cars right there, another car can't come through. He's just going to be stuck going right there. So if he wants to come up on you and he's in a higher gear, well, next turn he's going to be able to go first, but he can't go first because he can't get through you, which is actually kind of fun. So you try to do some blocking the best that you can do. Okay. Try to use those tiles, try to use all of those corners and everything to the best of your advantage. Now, some of the corners that you can do on this game are super tight, and they are really fun because of that. I mean, you can just flat get going up into 6th gear, and next thing you know, you're dropping down into a 1st gear corner. So you got to slam on them brakes hard. And remember, you only have 3 red dice. So from 6, you're only going to 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd gear. So you're not making all the way down to 1st. So you got to take that into consideration. Learn how to modify and manipulate the dice to the best of your ability. Like I said, I mean, because if you're in 4th gear, you drop it all the way down to 1st, so you might be able to jump up to 2nd and 3rd and then coast a little bit, so you can still utilize those dice even though you're dropping those distances. Okay, getting those focus tokens, that is very, very critical to be able to try to coast or trying to not roll those dice when you're in those super high gears and you're in those high risk moments. Because when you have all 6 of those black dice out, and say you even at this time have all 3 of the red dice out and you're using the coast dice, you just really don't want to pick up all those and roll them. But then again, at the same time, if you're going to be rolling them all one at a time, you're probably going to be wiping out. Okay, you're going to roll those exclamations. If you get super lucky, you're not, but chances are you're going to. Okay, that's just how this game plays. Absolutely love it. Well, like I said, I talked about the corners, some of the hazards for those. There's so much good stuff in there. There's some of the areas are 2 lanes, some of the areas are 3 lanes, some they're going wider, narrower. You're just basically playing this game to the best of your abilities. Okay, trying to stay in the lead, trying to stay ahead of everybody else. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, I'm trying to remember all the stuff that I want to talk about. Lost control, I know I covered. The damage tokens are really cool. I do like the damage tokens because the simple fact that, some of them are, it's going to say, hey, you know what? You've now damaged a car. You no longer have a black dice. You no longer have a red dice, or you no longer have a coast dice, for example. The weather can change. So once the weather changes, your card, okay, the base card that comes in the game, one side's rain tires, one side's not. All right, you're going to be flipping that based on that. And based on that, it's going to tell you, your exclamation is going to be different. Your dice might be different. The damage might be different. Okay, so you got to be careful on all of that. All right, so very fun. But the solo game in this, absolutely love the solo. I love the time trials that this comes with. Okay, but that's not all, folks. Because this game here, one of the things about this game, I mean, this was a reprint from the original Rallyman game that came out a long, long, long time ago when Holy Grail brought this one back. But when this went on to crowdfunding, they had so many expansions. They had the championship expansion. The championship expansion was basically you're just going through a series of races. They're predetermined races in that, or you can make up your own, but you're getting points based on how you do in those races. Whoever can have the most points in the very end is going to win the championship. Absolutely fun. They have the team challenge. The team challenge is you're basically running 2 cards. All right. And just kind of doing the same. There's a little more tiles, some more tracks, everything else. Absolutely love that. The World Tour expansion that came out, that's going to add a whole bunch more tiles, a whole bunch more tracks that you can go on. All right. So much fun on that one. And then, of course, if you had the crowdfunding one, then you're going to have the bridge, which is really cool. Plus the other stuff, you're going to have the figure 8. So then you got to be careful of that. You're going to get the soft tires expansion. Okay. Because soft tires is going to change things up quite a bit more. Of course, like I said, with the figure 8, you're going to have T-boning. You might have oil, you might have debris. that's going to show up down in the track. So much going on in this game. So, all right. But you know what? I absolutely love Rallyman GT. I know Holy Grail Games no longer has this game. I believe it's Synapsys game that now has it, and they're carrying it forward. I don't know where it's at in the market, if you can even get it at this point in time. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked it up. But I'll tell you what, I think this is a great game. This is one of those games. If you like solo race games, and even if you like multiplayer race games, you got a better group than I do, okay? And you can get them to pay attention and focus on what's going on, and actually do the speed of racing and not take 15 minutes per turn. This is a great multiplayer game. Absolutely love this as a multiplayer game, but not when someone takes 15 minutes to do their turn. Pay attention to what's going on, okay? Because you know the turn order. Everyone can tell what that turn order is going to be, all right? It's a solo game, absolutely fantastic, and one of my favorites for a solo game. But there you go. I highly recommend this game if you can find it. If you're really into racing games, I think this is one that you're really going to like. If you're on the fence about racing games, not really sure, this is one you may want to check out first, because like I say, I think it shines best as a solo game. It does play great multiplayer, but you need to judge for yourself. I think it's worth it. Well, thank you once again for joining me today. As always, I please ask you to like this video on YouTube, Board Game Geek, Facebook, or even on X. Please leave me a comment on any one of those platforms, and I'll get to those comments just as soon as I can. And also, folks, if you like the videos I do here, if you haven't done so already, I humbly ask you to click on that subscription button and even click on that bell and be notified when I drop new videos. And if you like the videos that I do here, I also post videos over on the Discriminating Gamers channel. Over there, we'll do some unboxings, playthroughs, and reviews. I'll leave a link to Cody's channel down in the details below. You know, I got an A on my origami assignment when I turned my paper into my teacher.